Streaming live every Saturday morning from Darin Bergsven Guitar Studio near Chester Creek in Duluth, Coffee and Guitar celebrates the guitar music and guitar players of the Minnesota Northwoods. There's a mighty forest of great guitar players that stretches from the headwaters of the Mississippi to the shore of Lake Superior. Each month, Coffee and Guitar welcomes a guest, a guitar giant of the Northwoods, to tell guitar stories, share guitar insights, and make guitar music. Happy Friday afternoon. Surprise, everyone. Thanks for, probably you're not here, but hey, Ed, if you're out there. It's Ian.
What's up,
Welcome
Ed?
to Coffee and Guitar, featuring Ian Hoffman, and Ron's here too. The gang's all here. We got 3 Schaefers. We thought we'd play some blues. Yeah. Oh, you start us off, Ian. Tim. Thanks for joining us. I woke up this morning and the jack on my Schaefer here was loose, so I called up Ron. Ron, the jack on my Schaefer's loose. Help me out. It's falling out in the middle of the gig. Ron says, come on over, and like often happens, when I come on over to Ron's, I get there with my Schaefer in hand. Ron, please fix my Schaefer. And suddenly Ed's on the phone talking to Ron. It happens often, Ron, when I'm over with my Schaefer. Ed Schaefer just happens to call up. On your way, or? No, it never happens. I show up this morning and walk in, and Ron's texting with Ian. Ed's got this friend Ian, this Luthier friend Ian, who's up from Austin, Texas. He wants to meet up today. And here we are.
Yeah,
Ian,
I just called you
welcome.
out of the blue.
Yeah.
Heard great things about both of you guys and figured I'd come say hi.
Ian and Shannon, and we've been hanging out, having coffee, and talking about music and all kinds of good stuff. Thought we'd stop in and play some blues.
Yeah, big love to Ed. I learned under Ed for 1.5 years. He's a great dude, and he's had a big influence on all of us.
Yeah, man. Ian, you were telling us about you build guitars for Collings. Can you tell us some about that?
Well, yeah, I worked for Collings Guitars before I started building instruments, and during that time I got to know the guys at Collings quite well. Learned under Ed for 1.5 years, and called the guys up at Collings, and they said, yeah, come on over.
And now you're building instruments like this.
Yeah, now I'm building instruments and really learning from some brilliant people, just trying to be a sponge as much as I can and learn what I can. Guys that have been doing it for years and years, just like Ed.
Like it, yeah.
Just taking in as much as I can.
Anyone who's not knowing, Ed Schaefer builds Schaefer guitars in Austin, Texas. He lived up here in Duluth for a long time. It's where I met him. It's where Ron met him. I assume you met him here and not in Austin. And we happen to all be playing Schaefers here this afternoon. All of us 15s. That's fun.
Yeah.
Ron's the only existing left-handed Schaefer. Do you think that's true?
So. I think so.
Maybe Ed can confirm. Is he going to get this link in time? Hey, Jay! Just going out for a walk before work and saw this pop up. Yeah, it kind of popped up here too. Sure, come on over. They were just about to leave. Shannon and Ian were just about to head out, and I'm like, hey, you want to do a quick live stream maybe? Here we are. Anything else? Well, how about this? What's you're building archtops now. What's your favorite part of that work?
I mean, it's really hard to say, but I have worked in different areas. I've worked in buffing, I've worked in finish, and what I'm doing right now is building the bodies and actually constructing that, conceptualizing the wood that you're working with and seeing it through to the final product, at least until I pass it down the line, is what I love. I love working with the wood and shaping it and sculpting it and, letting the wood tell you what to do and, how to work with it, because it has its own ideas and it just wants to be a tree, and sometimes it's gonna just want to be a tree and not want to be a guitar.
Ron, how about you? You're a luthier. What's your favorite part of luthering?
Well, I'm not really a luthier because I don't build instruments. I'm a repair guy. So, but it's always interesting to feel the different guitars and what they have to say, as far as Ian says, the wood has its own characteristics that it wants to speak to you almost. And old guitars are always interesting. The stories are endless. We could sit here and tell guitar stories all day about who did what to break what.
Can we?
So yeah. But I guess my favorite part of the thing is taking a box of guitar and putting it back together and making it sing again. When some poor instrument is beyond the realm. I just finished up taking apart an old Silvertone, which wasn't worth much at all. It's a $20 guitar. But I took it all apart and fixed the braces and glued up a bad side that was all cracked up and structurally got it all back together and made it play good. So now it's back alive and kicking. And the guy that owned it was a songwriter, and he said that he wrote a lot of his songs on that little funky Silvertone guitar. So I kind of get a kick out of that kind of stuff. You know? I mean, I've worked on the expensive guitars and the $60,000 Stratocasters and all that, and some of them have interesting stories, but most of the time the story is how expensive they are. And so I kind of get off on making things come back to life again. That's kind of one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I'm a luthier, not like Ian, where you build something with, hey, the wood's coming down the line and you get to take it first time around, which is charming too. You know, like what Ed does with guitars.
Yeah.
And hearing your answer kind of makes me rethink my answer. I think the first like solo custom built guitar I made, you know, I knew it from the start. I strung it up before there was finish on it. I heard it, and the coolest, most emotional moment is when I gave it to my friend across the room and he's playing it in front of me. And I get to hear somebody else voice this thing that I've had this months-long relationship with.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful thing to hear somebody else play it.
Yeah, that's cool. We all love Ed's guitars. I think that's a fair statement. And know his guitars pretty well. How about this? What stands out to you about Ed's guitars? Ian, if you would.
Well, I mean, just knowing the love and compassion he's put into it, you know, spending a year and a half learning from him, I got to see him build guitars every step of the way. And knowing that it's not coming off of some production line or that 20 different people have had their hands on it, knowing that the love he has in himself shows through in the guitar. And it's just not a feeling you get from a not custom built instrument.
It's true. Ron, you've repaired a lot of instruments and held and played a lot of guitars. What stands out about Ed's instruments?
I agree with Ian. You know, I mean, Ed's got the capabilities of the machinery and the knowledge to work the wood. But when I pick up my guitar, it's you get to feel. I think that music is pretty emotional stuff. And you get to feel the emotions that are involved with the guy that loves what he's doing. And that kind of makes a difference for me. Because anybody can take a file and start whittling away. But to make that file whittle away at something to make it sound and feel beautiful, that's kind of a talent.
Yeah. I might disagree with you there. Not just anyone can take a file and whittle things away. I was talking earlier about I grew up in my dad's cabinet shop sanding. I grew up sanding wood and joinery, and I know what a clean joint looks like. And this is mind blowing. Not just anyone can do this. I've held a lot of Luthier's instruments, and not just anyone can do this.
Yeah, I know.
I'm blown away by that, but I know. I played a lot of other instruments for a long time, and I remember when I haven't touched another instrument since. His guitar feels transparent. Like I don't have to work to get it out. It happens so easily.
It works.
It's very transparent. Like my hand, I don't know. It's easy to make the sound I want come out of it. Just physically, it's super easy to play. And I love sitting down with it and knowing that this thing I'm creating is coming out of this thing that Ed has created.
Yeah. And
I think we all kind of have that sort of appreciation for it in common. If you're out there, Ed, we love your guitars. Ian, you think, I'm totally putting you on the spot here, do you have any sort of solo, anything you could treat us to? A little excerpt of anything?
Not really.
You were playing a little something.
I could play like the first part of Cello Suite. That's something I've been working on, but I haven't really.
What key is that in? It's in G. It's in G?
Yeah.
Like major?
I think it is, yeah.
We could play around with that. Let's just keep doing that.
Hey.
We don't need to jam on that. That's perfect. Thank you, Ian. Sorry to put you on the spot like that, but that was beautiful.
Good to be put on the spot.
That was beautiful. There's some folks. There's all kinds of folks over here. Jay. Jay, hello. Tim is talking about seeing wood become a guitar. It speaks to us if we pay attention. Very true. John, hello, John. John Bergman, I know Ron because it's Ron. Everybody knows Ron. It's Ron. If you play guitar in Duluth, you know Ron. It's Uncle Ron. It's a true story. Hey, Tony Poole is watching. TR Poole, I suppose.
Oh, wow.
I assume that's who that is. Cushman, hello. RJ Reinhardt, the voice of my Schaefer is beautiful. It is the best. True story, RJ. Awesome. Good to hear from another Schaefer player. Get Bach, Tim Scarrow says. Get Bach. What was the name of that classical piece? We forget.
That's Bach's Cello Suite.
That's Bach's Cello Suite.
But just the very first part of it.
Ron's getting another call over here. He's bad. Bad. This is super fun. Hey, how about this? Ian, what was your first guitar?
Oh, my first guitar was a Squier Strat. And I didn't know it then, but I was going to be a guitar worker. I sanded the whole thing, took the color off. I didn't like the color and spray painted it and put it back together. And
you didn't know then, but you were then.
Yeah. It really rings true.
Yeah. Ron, what was your first guitar?
My first guitar was a classical with three strings on it that I stole from the neighbor's house.
You've told me this story.
And because, when you live in the country, if you need a cup of sugar, you're welcome to go into the neighbor's house and get yourself some flour or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So this guitar sat there for the longest time, and I just went in there and took it one day. So that was my first guitar. So my sister taught me how to tune the bottom three strings, and I was off to listening to Duane Eddy and learning some Duane Eddy songs, because that was about it,
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a Silvertone, which I still have today, a little beginner's guitar. And I spent most of my learning time on that, But, like Ian, my first good guitar was a 67 Stratocaster that my mom bought me. And I think it was less than a year later, it was a Sunburst, and I sanded it down. I just had to sand it down. I had to do something to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I sanded it down, and I got a pattern book from the library, and I hand carved a series of maple leaves,
Mm-hmm.
or these design in the leaf pattern around the guitar,
Mm-hmm.
and put a couple coats of varnish on it, and that was the beginning of my guitar repair career.
That's awesome. That makes me think of a story. Here's a difference between me and the two of you. And this is why I need people like you and Ed in the world. Sorry, excuse me, Ron. We gotta grab this guy behind you here. It's gonna get noisy. When I was a kid, this was my first acoustic guitar, and I dinged it up, and I thought I could do something about it. So I took some sandpaper to it there on the lower bout, and I got as far as sanding it and realizing that didn't make it smooth and shiny again, and I got afraid and put it away in the case, and I never touched it again. I mean, I played this guitar forever, but I got this far into wondering if I wanted to be a luthier and realized that I did not. Later in my life, I thought I'd actually build a guitar, and there's still a pile of materials and my first tools I tried to make in the corner of my dad's shop. I did not pursue that. That is way too tedious for me. Oh my goodness. I'll practice my scales, thank you. Let's leave him with a tune and then call it a day. Anything else we can think of we want to do, or just a little more of that B flat blues would be fun?
Sure, yeah. Whatever you like to do.
Just like an A minor D type of thing.
A minor to D kind of thing?
A minor.
Cool.